Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm having to make this video a little bit sooner than I thought I would have to because, well, I got pretty fucking lucky. I mentioned in my pilot video that I was lucky enough to secure a pre-order through P.Bandai for the Gundam card game beta box. However, I was extremely fortunate to also be selected by my LGS to participate in the beta trial event. Now, I will show you guys my what came in my beta box and the decks I've built from it. But I want to tell you guys this story, so if you will indulge me. So the trial events began for stores on January 31st, and that just so happened to be when my LGS Shenanigans was holding their event. It's pretty nice that they were among the first to have it. So I started calling like a week in advance to see what was up and what it might look like or how good my chances were going to be to try and get a box. Because to my knowledge, these events were supposed to be like a lottery type deal, where you would sign up on the Bandai TCG app, and then hope your name gets pulled from a hat or something along those lines. I believe that's how these events were supposed to be run. Uh, well, I had seen some talk in, like forums and discords and stuff like that where stores weren't using the app. Like they were just, hey, we're not going to do that. Or having people come in and, sign up on like a sheet of paper. Like, what the hell, dude? Or even worse, some stores were selling off their spots for the event and or like even worse still, they weren't even holding the event and they were just selling their boxes, which is really scummy. In a future video, I will talk about how I feel about the Western card market. Spoiler alert, I fucking hate it here. Anyway, I wasn't getting a straight answer from Shen's, mostly because whenever I called or inquired, the Bandai TO wasn't in, so whoever I spoke with just, didn't have the right answers for me. So it's a Friday that these events started, right? January 31st. And I happened to be very busy that afternoon, evening. My wife and I got new furniture. We're moving stuff around. We're, really tired. And we're going to get dinner a lot later than we usually would. And so that's when we're sitting at dinner and we're almost done. And I pull up on Facebook that Shen's is saying that they got their boxes in. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, I got really scared because I was like, oh no, are they just going to sell these off? Like, because it was really ambiguous, the post. It was like, we got these in. And it's like, well, are you selling them? Are you holding the event? What's going on? And people were asking for clarification in the comments, but they weren't answering, which was really silly. And my wife was like, look, we should just go down there and you should see if you should get one. And I'm like, I'm not going all the way down there for a maybe, like I'm on the wait list. I'm not guaranteed one, so I don't want to go all the way down there for just a maybe. And then she hits me with, I want ice cream, so we head down there, right? Get our ice cream. We're at the shop. I check in at the front desk with Anthony, that's the Bandai TO, and it turns out that Shen's was running it the way you were supposed to do it. Or I guess they were utilizing the TCG app like you were supposed to, but there were people signed up in order, right? So it was first come, first served. If you were the first to sign up on the app, you got a box, right? So anybody who was waitlisted was past the 16 threshold because they got 16 total boxes, right? So if you were beyond the first 16 names, you were on what was the waiting list, right? That was me. So I wasn't guaranteed a box. And as I'm walking in, I see him cutting open, these boxes that happen to be, numbers 14 and 15. And then he moved to the waiting list, right? And he turned his computer monitor around and showed me. He's like, "Look, I got all these names. I'm gonna start calling names, and whoever comes up after I call their name, this last box is gonna go to." And I was like 15 names down the list, and it was in that moment that I was like, "Oh, I'm not getting one of these," right? So he starts calling out the names, and there's a handful of other people that have gathered at the shop, and we're all just kind of looking at each other like, "Okay, which one of our names is he gonna call first?" Well, 15 names come and go, and he calls my name, and that last box goes to me, and I was so excited, dude. It was so hype. So he congratulates me. He cuts the plastic off my box, and he sends me off, right? I walk back over to Mandy, and she's like freaking out that I got one. And I sit down, and I'm opening the box with her, right? And the whole time as I'm undoing the cards and the packs and stuff, like my hands are shaking. Like I couldn't believe that that we actually, got one. And she was really happy. She was really happy that, she made me come down and it all worked out. So everybody who got a box, we were running, got to run some trial games against each other to try and learn the game. And Anthony and I think the other guy's name was Amar were the Bandai TOs. So if get familiar with your TOs and thank them, because every week that you go play games, make sure you thank your TOs because those guys are great. If there's not somebody running the tournament, running the game that you want every week, then your game doesn't exist, right? So thank your local TOs every week, every time you see them. But yeah, everybody who got a box got to run some trial games against each other so that we could learn. And the TOs handed out those promo resource cards that you get for coming to the store events, which were pretty cool. And the game itself is pretty fun and actually kind of easy. This is my only my second ever TCG coming from Shadowverse Evolve. And it was relatively easy to pick up and get a hold of, right? So Anthony and Amar were excellent TOs, and I'm very much looking forward to heading back to the shop and holding events, if they're holding more events during the beta, and then, getting ready for the actual launch of the game in July. So that's what it was like for me to actually secure one of these boxes. Let me show you guys the box and the cards. Wow. Nice. Okay, so this here is my box. It does have this little sleeve, which, is kind of hard to see on camera, but this is pretty sweet. It did come organized. This is a little clear sheet, right? This is, what is this? These are like the rules and stuff, right? So turn orders and like game, the game turn progression is what it says here, right? And I'm pretty sure this sheet is available on the Gundam TCG website. So if you guys were interested, y'all could check this out. And this was actually the play sheet that I played those trial games on. I was a little embarrassed because I was, fully expecting not to get one of these boxes. And I didn't bring any of my stuff. I didn't have my mat. I didn't have sleeves for my cards. So, yeah, that's a little embarrassing. I played my first game on this, so I'll probably just keep all of this stuff together. I like keeping things like that together. This is another sheet with like some recommended deck builds. I don't know how good these are. I don't think they are that great. It's what I've seen some discussion about. People are already building like better stuff, but people are sweating in the beta instead of like, just playing it and figuring out the game and having fun. This side talks about the Battle Royale game mode, which I'll be honest, I'm not really that interested in. Not really a huge fan. These are what's left of my blue and green and white cards after I built a handful of decks. I built 2 decks, right? So there's a lot of cards that come in these beta boxes. So I'll go through what I left out of decks for whatever reason and stuff. And then whenever I open product, I like as pristinely as I can, holding on to like the packs and stuff. It's just a little quirky thing that I do. I have most of my Shadowverse Evolve stuff. Like I keep a box of it and usually one of the pack wrappers of it. So let me put these. It did come with some other stuff that I will show you now. Give me a second here. I have this little cool set of dice that it came with, right? It's just 6-sided dice, but it does have the Gundam card game logo on them, which is pretty cool. Let's see if we can get this camera to focus. Yes, whatever. This is a disaster. Yeah, I've got the D6s. There's 6 of them total. And then I have, let me grab these. I have 2 decks, right? I have green and white and a blue and white. Now, from what I've seen discussion about, the green is definitely the better of the 2. And from what I have played, the green is definitely the better of the 2. So I've played a handful of games with my friend Eric, who comes from, like, he mains Digimon, so he's very familiar with Bandai TCGs, and this one, from what I've been told, plays exactly almost like, the rest of the Bandai TCGs. So he was very familiar with game flow and the mechanics, and he was able to get me going pretty quickly, right? And then I taught the game to my friend Greg, and it was pretty easy to kind of repeat all of the game flow and how things work and stuff. So once you play it a couple times, it is pretty easy to get a hold of and stuff. But I'm not gonna talk too much about the decks because I don't really know yet entirely what's good, what's not. I just, these decks are mostly like, hey, I like this, and this kind of works well together. I'm not going for anything super sweaty or anything, but yeah, this is what I have put together. So in the green deck, we start with the Altart Sharzaku, right? This is pretty cool. Let's see, what else is really good in here? We got another Sharzaku. This is the base art form. These create Zaku tokens when you link with Char and when you lose the unit, right? So not only do you get link storm damage, right? And I say storm as like a Shadowverse term, but when you lose them and when you link, you get more bodies on board. So it's aggro's dream, right? It's so good and really difficult to deal with. Let's see, Wing Gundam. I actually haven't had a chance to play against this card yet, or I think Eric played it like once or twice against me, but this is just really good. Breach 5, like, dude, come on. Yeah, Breach is a really, really good keyword to have in this game. Gelgoog, this is not a legend or anything, just a really low-cost unit with buff stats at 4/3. Bird Mode Wing Gundam is really, really good. Not great stat-wise, but the reason it's so expensive is it creates an EX resource for you, which is like, generating evolve points again in Shadowverse Evolve. Really, really good, and raises your level and then gives you more resources to spend. Let's see, Char gives everything +1 when he links with it, right? And high maneuvers, so it can't be blocked, right? Really, really good. Green has a lot of really good units with really good stats. This unit is stupid. This Rickdom, this is probably one of the better units in the game. Really, really good. The Breach is kind of stupid. It goes kind of stupid. Let's see, more Rickdom. Shenlong Gundam, haven't really seen that. More pilot cards. The Falmel base, really, really good. Add this card to your hand if you place a rested Zaku unit, right? So you give your opponent more to think about. It's a 3/1, I think the Zaku token is. Let's see, Zaku 1, really good turn 1 play. A lot of good pilots in this deck. Gelgoog again. I think I've gone through all of my unique stuff. Zaku 2 at level 2 1-drop with a +2. Yeah, +2 AP. Yeah, so it becomes a 3/2 for a really low cost. Stupid, really good, really aggro. Good stats. Okay, so I didn't pull too many legend rares in the green deck, right? Or at least I put what other ones I had in the blue and white deck. And then I got the resource card here that they gave you for the trial event. You get all your resource. I did not pull foil resource cards. I know those are also kind of in the beta boxes. And then your tokens and EX cards and stuff, right? So I mean, this is just like low cost, good stats, good effects. The Breach is so stupid in this deck. Green got a lot of love, and green is definitely the stronger of the two colors. As far as the blue and white deck, my legend rare box topper, which is something that you get on top of the beta box, was the RX-78, the granddaddy, right? So this was kind of cool. I'm a huge fan of the original Gundam. I pulled a legend rare Gundam Ariel, which, although I like her, the effect's not that great. You got to have command cards in drop. And if you have command cards in drop, that means you're not playing bodies, which is kind of counterproductive in this game, as of the beta, right? Kiraya. Oh, this one's pretty cool. Legend rare Ale Strike Gundam. More control style stuff here with Ale Strike. Spins it away, or spins something away. I think it's 4 less defense. Yeah. Yeah, the white is definitely about board control here. Perfect Strike Gundam is the same way. Spinning stuff away back to the opponent's hand off of the field. I'm not a huge fan of the seed stuff, so I have chose to forego a lot of that in this deck. Um, Even though I know it's like unanimously good, I'm not a huge fan of seed. Um, I don't know if I'm gonna get crucified for that or not. I don't know if anybody here cares. Another perfect strike, which is really cool. Cool foiling on these. Archangel, I think, is not that great of a base card compared to the other one. I really like this art. It's really pretty. The Witch and the Bride. I don't think it does anything. 5 HP or less and spin it away. So, you know, control style gameplay. Let's see. G Fighter here. Oop. G Fighter, when you have more white base units out on your field, this gets high maneuver. So, you know, kind of strict. Show of Resolve. Just draw 2. Kind of expensive for what it is, but still really good. White base, this is probably the best card, or one of the best cards in the blue and white deck, unfortunately. It's really cool in its idea. You can see in the art of it, you can see the Gundam coming off of it, and it just generates tokens for you. Kind of cool. You have to pay for them, but I do really like the idea behind that. MA form Gundam is actually kind of good because it draws you a card, right, when you pair it with Amuro Ray. So pretty strict conditions, but you get a draw, and then when you pair with Amuro, you can rest an enemy unit. So then you have something to swing in, right? This Demi Trainer 1/1, you can set to block, right? Pretty nice to have. Pretty nice early game option. Suretta, I really like. I really like Suretta because she will give you back a resource, right? It is just one. I don't really know how much of a difference it's going to be making, but I like it, right? I kind of like the idea behind it, and I think it can really be built upon in, you know, once white maybe gets a little bit more support. This is a really big 3/4 unit launcher strike with blocker, so you have an option to throw this down and then block an incoming attack. Kind of nice. Overflowing Affection, I've seen, is one of the better cards in this deck. It's draw 2, discard 1, you know, really nice. These M1 Astrays I've seen are not that great on their own, but when you play them together, they kind of buff each other. So I kind of like them as a squad. Rezel, one of the better stat lines in the blue color. Level 3, 2 cost for 4/3 stat line. That's so good. It's really, really good. Lower cost bodies and stuff. Oh, this one I'm a huge fan of. Gundam Unicorn. Yeah. Unicorn has a pretty interesting gimmick that I think can be built around later on. It says, during pair and when it's destroyed, if this is a link unit, return its paired pilot back to your owner's hand. So the pilots cannot exist on the field without the units. So you could essentially maybe just run one Banaji Rinks, and anytime Unicorn is destroyed, Banaji comes back to your hand, then discard one. Oh, so you have to give something else up, right? I thought it gave you a draw. But you'd have to dig for another Unicorn, and you don't have to rely on, you know, multiple copies of Bonager to have the link pilot for your Unicorn. Might be better later on when it gets support. I don't know. We'll see, but not that great right now. I got another Legend Rare RX-78. So I pulled a lot more of the Legend Rares in the blue and white colors than I did the green. And I knew going into this, right, based on what I had seen in Discord discussions and stuff, that green was definitely given more love, I think, than blue and or white. And white just kind of supports green, and green is just kind of the out-and-out best color that you can build around this set. So I definitely tried to give this blue and white deck a little bit more love to stand a chance against the green deck. But yeah, I have 2 decks that I've been playing with my friends with, and the game has been a lot of fun, and I do still have another box coming from P.Bandai, right? So I want to try and live stream that opening to get some raw reaction footage here. I'm not decided yet if I will live stream it on YouTube or on my Twitch. It's just easier for me to live stream everything on Twitch, but I play fighting games on Twitch and stuff, and I don't know if you guys... I don't know if I'll be splitting my audience like that, so I'm going to mull it over until the box gets here and then make a decision. Once I get my second box, my plan is to build 2 more decks, right? Because you can with all of this, and then give those decks away, right? I'm gonna give one of those decks to my friend Eric because he's really about it. He really enjoyed the game. He's talking about buying a case or some shit. Like, I don't know, that guy's crazy. And then I'll give one to my friend Greg, and I have another one to give away that I'll probably find another friend who, you know, really enjoys the game and wants to give it a try and stuff, so that we can all play games, right? And then maybe I can record webcam matches to put up on the channel here. So that's what I have for you. I was very, very excited and very, very lucky to have gotten my hands on a beta box early, despite having one coming in the mail. But yeah, I want to try and have as many people play the beta version of the game and just be playing and enjoying the game as much as they can, right? So I'm not going to hoard any of the beta stuff or, you know, try and sell anything off or keep it sealed or whatever. You know, I want people to be playing and enjoying the game. So hope you guys enjoyed, and please look forward to more Gundam content as I get more stuff in and there's more opportunity for me to actually create more of that for you. See ya.